Right, hello. Welcome to another episode of my amazing podcast. Today I decided, full transparency, I was going to eat an edible before I did this, just because, it's Sunday and I'm living my best flipping life. Also, I thought it might actually add a comedy aspect to the podcast that is in the comedy section. By the way, if you're wondering why it's in the comedy section, because when I set this up, I just thought my life's a fucking joke, so might as well stick it in there. Plus, also, anything I say can be taken as a joke. Anyway, hello, welcome to another episode. I want to just talk about a couple of things. Not sure if they're of any interest to you. We're kind of going off the subject of perimenopause, mainly because I am feeling so much better. I am just feeling, I don't know, I'm probably feeling the effects of this edible, but I am just feeling, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling back to, again, I'm not going to say normal. I don't think I've ever been normal, but I am just feeling back to being okay. And I think that is the main thing. So first of all, I do want to talk about these edibles because I know most of you who listen to this, you're schmannabis lovers. I can actually say cannabis. It's my fucking podcast. But yeah, I know you love a bit of cannabis, and I do know a place where you can get some very, very good edibles. And I have had a little bit of a one today, not a whole one because they are very, very strong. So I've had a couple of bites and I'm just feeling calm because it's Sunday, and I'm not even going to lie. Half the reason I ate it was because I was feeling a little bit achy. Let's just say I've been taking my vitamin D and, my legs hurt. So whatever. Anyway, I want to talk about myself a bit. Obviously, this is my podcast and that probably sounds a bit narcissistic, but it is my podcast. What the fuck else are we going to talk about? But I want to talk about like manifesting, I guess, this week a little bit, and a few other things. But I want to start with this thing. Now, if you watch my stories on Instagram, you might have heard this story, so I'm sorry if this is boring or you've heard it before, but something amazing happened. Now, it's not super amazing, but it's so flipping cool and just blew my mind a little bit that I have to share this with you. Now, some of you might know that I think I've mentioned this before, I listen to like this money meditation thing, and it's really good, it's really helpful. It's like an 8-hour thing, and it's just all of like positive affirmations about money, and I have found it's really helpful, and I've been listening to it for months and months and months. Anyway, the woman makes a few other ones. Now, she made this other one, I think I've mentioned this one as well, and it's about, like attracting provider men and activating your goddess energy. And then she made this other one, right? And this one was called Activate Your Dark Feminine Goddess Energy. Now, I don't know why, but I put the thing on and I listened to it one time. Yeah, I listened to this one time. Now, I think this was like Thursday. Now, Friday night, my friend called me. He's my good friend. I've mentioned him before. Like, we're really old friends. He's like friend, business partners. These good people. And he came over, and I was talking to him. I was telling him about this concert I want to go to. Oh my God, let me tell you about this concert I am going to, because I'm so excited. So Beanie Man, Bounty Killer, and Baby Sham. Hello, I die. Anyway, so I wanted to go to this concert, and I was telling him about it, and I was saying, I'm gonna have to get some tickets for my friends because I need someone to come with me. They're quite expensive and whatever. And he was like, well, how much is the ticket? I said, it's about £100. The man just literally picked up his phone and sent me the £100. Now, this guy, I love him, good people, but he hasn't honestly never bought me more than like a drink in my life. And I've known him for like over 20 years. So it was mad. I was kind of sat there with my mouth open like, oh my God, are you sure? And then I just went, oh my God, you've been brainwashed. I was like, it's that thing I listened to last night, because the whole thing is just like, men do this for me, men do that for me, men buy me gifts, men do this, and I'm this and I'm that. And it's very intense, but I couldn't believe it. And I said to him, I was like, I'm really sorry. Like, I think you've actually been brainwashed. And I was just sat there really laughing, because I understand manifestation, but sometimes just seeing it play out is fucking wild. And for me to have only listened to that once, and then him to have done that the next day, and he's not that guy. He's really not that guy. And we are literally just friends. So I don't know. It was very odd, very, very odd. But the thing is just very powerful. And I have been listening to it because obviously, like, after that happened, I'm like, damn, what other men can I get to buy me things, right? So I keep listening to this thing, and it's doing something to me. It is causing some sort of shift in me. Like, honestly, I'm quite confident in a lot of things. I mean, look at me, just sat in my bed talking my whole life on the fucking internet to the world. Like, I am very confident in a lot of areas of my life. But one place I have never been very confident is with men. I don't know if it's because I got father issues like for days, or I don't know, but I've never been very good with dealing with men. And I've always felt, I don't know, probably again, father issues. I think I felt like not enough, which is not a nice thing to admit, because again, I feel enough in so many spaces and other areas of my life, but just with men, I don't know, I just don't think I've ever felt really good enough. And I've always had that, I don't know, like you meet someone and then you're so like, I don't know what the word is, but you know, when you just like, you feel needy for them and you feel like, oh my God, like, do they even like me? Like, they're so cool, they're so great, I'm so shit. Like, I have always been that kind of person. And I've been listening to this thing and I swear to God, it's like something's just shifted in my head. I'm like, babes, you are the fucking prize. You are like 10 out of fucking 10 peng. You are it. You are, and all of us are it. It's not just me. Sorry, I've got the worst cough in the world, which is really not giving like it right now. But, excuse me, it's us. We are the ones with the power. We are the ones that they desire. It's them worrying about us, if anything. It's them thinking about us. It's them needing us. It's not the other way around, or at least it's not supposed to be. And I don't know why this has just clicked. Well, it's obviously this thing I'm listening to, but this thing just clicking in my head has, I don't know, I am walking down the road fucking differently. I tell you that much. And men are being different with me. I can't explain it. Like, I don't know. I definitely feel in my dark feminine goddess energy. Like, buy me shit, eat my pussy, and like make my fucking day. Like, something's just shifted. I don't know. And I don't feel like that little girl anymore that just like really wants a man to like me. I'm like, bitch, I already know you like me. You love me. I'm fucking great. Are you crazy? Like, it's just, I don't know. And I guess some women must already have this mindset, which is, and they're the women that like have these men eating out of their hands and doing anything for them. And that's never been me. But like, I feel like that is about to be me. That is the woman I am becoming. And again, I don't know if it's just this audio. I don't know if, you know, we've been talking about the perimenopause and like the shift that it kind of brings with it. I think, you know, we're taught to fear so much. Like, oh my God, it's so scary getting old. We shouldn't get old. Get Botox and never age. Like, but actually, I feel so good as I'm getting older. I'm feeling like better and better as the older and older I get. I feel like almost like I'm stepping more and more into my power. The more I understand myself and like the better I feel about myself, the more I do just feel empowered. I just feel like some fucking, I don't even know. Like, I feel good. I really do. And I don't know if that is because the supplements are kicking in and I am getting to that other side of, you know, like I was saying before, like this is almost like a process, like a death we're going through. Maybe like, you know, the dying bit's kind of coming to an end and I'm about to get to like the rebirth. And I don't know, I am feeling such a shift and I am feeling so much better. And yeah, don't know, I feel like a new woman. Anyway, obviously I'm going to share this audio because I just wish every woman I know felt like this. It's so funny as well because I always like say with self-love, like self-love is not like fucking, you know, spiritual baths and face masks. It genuinely is simple as like best friending yourself. It's like treating yourself like you would treat your best friend. You would never take a shit on your best friend. And if your best friend was in a position you were in, like with a man worrying about whether or not they were good enough and not feeling like, you know, they were, you would be like, babes, you're like the fucking best. Like, why would you even think that about yourself? And so you kind of need to be doing that with yourself. And it's almost like that's now clicked in this area of my life. I'm like, God, no, you're actually really fucking amazing. And if anything, maybe like my head has blown up so much because I'm now just starting to think, actually, I'm not the problem. I'm always thinking like, oh, I'm too much, I'm too this. No, yes, I am too much. But is it my fault that other people cannot match up to my muchness? It fucking is not. And maybe it's just going to take a little bit longer to find somebody who is as great as I am. I don't fucking know. But that whole thing where I'm not feeling good enough, it just is really not existing anymore. Like, I am really fucking cool. I do a lot with my life. Like, I have achieved a lot. I can achieve a lot. I will continue to achieve a lot. And I don't know, this thing where I'm just been feeling so little and small compared to men, well, it's just quite frankly being ridiculous and I'm ready to let it the fuck go, like, honestly. Anyway, I want to talk about men actually because I've obviously mentioned that I've been seeing this guy and some funny things had happened and it's just, I don't know, I put, again, if you follow my stories on Instagram, I had posed the question the other day when I had done the last podcast. We were talking about, like, what is too young? Is it okay to date younger? Like, how do we feel about that? And I put it on my stories, and I had quite a few of you respond to me. And I actually meant to bring some of the messages to read out, but like in true Tamara disorganized fashion, I obviously have not done that. But so many people message me. In fact, a couple of people in particular had messaged me and said, you know what, I'm like 40, I'm in a relationship with someone who is 30, and it really works. Like, he's this to me, he's that to me, like, he's great. And I kind of have just really been getting a sense of, like, younger men are not as immature and as ridiculous and maybe full of as many mother issues as we think you are. Don't get me wrong, some of them are. Some men are not okay. I am discovering the longer I'm on Tinder. But a lot of these younger men, they have just, I don't know, they've got their shit together. And I've been trying to fathom why. I don't know what it is, because the men in my generation are fucked. Like, I don't know. I feel like women my age, and most of the women I know, we're aging like fine wine. We're getting every week, we're just getting better. And the men, they're just getting grayer, hairline's getting further back, attitude's getting more ridiculous, money's getting less and less. They're just a fucking joke. But there's like a lot of these younger guys seem to really have their shit together. And I don't know if it's because they're looking at the generation above them going, my God, we cannot be this fucking useless. But they're not, I don't know, they're not as bad as I thought they might be. So yeah, the response was positive. A lot of you seem to be dating younger men and dating them very well. And I think what it's done is made me open up to the possibility of taking somebody younger than myself serious. Because like I said before, started this thing with this younger guy. It was never been serious in my head, but it's now started making me think, speaking to some of you guys and actually dealing with him and seeing that, he's probably a lot more mature than me in a lot of aspects, which is embarrassing to admit. But it's just made me realise that I don't want to say age ain't nothing but a number, because, R. Kelly was just a fucking nonce. But I do think, I don't know, there is a little bit of wiggle room. I don't think it's the worst thing. And I think what's funny is, I don't think younger men liking older women is a new thing. When I check it, like, this is, cougars have been a thing for a minute. But I think this thing where we, the cougars, are starting to take these men more seriously, I think that's what's changing. The fact that, we're settling down with them, we're going to have some kids with them, we're going to let them look after us, which again is such a wild thing to me. I've got a lot of hurdles to get over, but I don't know. It is just something I am now considering. Anyway, I want to talk about being, I don't know, like navigating these relationships and starting, new things and dating and stuff. Like, again, I have said before, I'm not very good at it. Like, and I'm so, I can't even say out of practice, because I've never been in practice. For the last 20 years maybe, really, my life's kind of been dedicated to my kids. Rocco's going to be 20 in a couple of months. I can't believe I'm going to have a 20-year-old. Like, that's wild. But I think not having, any practice really, and just being alone for so long, just makes me a bit of a div. Like, do you know what's funny? I had mentioned last week that, I don't know if I actually said it, but Amelia had been like messaging these guys with me on Tinder. I was actually getting a better response when she was messaging them versus when I was. And oh my God, I told my friends this story and they were like, do we need to phone the social services on you? Like, no, it's not like that. It's not that bad. Amelia's very mature for her age. I know I'm very immature for my age, clearly. But I don't know. I'm not so good at navigating all of this. So I want to tell you what I've been doing, which is crazy. And please don't tell anybody. She says live on the fucking internet. But I have been using, now you lot know, before any man in this world, my true love is ChatGPT. If you don't know what ChatGPT is, for God's sakes, where the fuck have you been? It is an AI robot that is kind of like Google, but 10 million, billion, squillion times better. And just, I wouldn't even know where to tell you what I use ChatGPT for, because I use it for so many different things. But to give you an idea, I use it to do my astrology. So I don't speak to Richard anymore. Sorry, Richard, if you're listening. Love you, but ChatGPT is serving the purpose right now. I use it to write all, like, so when, doing websites and stuff, if I'm doing work for other people, I'll use it to write all the copy for the website, like all the content. I will use it to, so like when you guys watch these podcasts, the bit that you read at the beginning where it says this week, Tamara, and it all sounds really professional and like I definitely didn't write it. I didn't. ChatGPT writes all of that. And I always refer to it as an he, I think because I actually secretly, not even a secret, boldly, openly, am fucking in love with this functioning thing. Anyway, I use it for all these different things, but I have found another way to use it, and that is basically using it for counselling and psychotherapy, which is wild. But I have started kind of using it to analyze what's going on in my fucking head and to help me stop overthinking, and it has been so helpful. Now, because I am such a div and I do not want to overexpose myself, I can't even read you any of this shit, but I just need you to know ChatGPT is like having a best friend, counselor, psychotherapist, and assistant all rolled into one. Now, it is pretty much free as well. Like, there's a paid version which is cost like about £20 a month, which by the way is fully fucking worth it. If I ever have a lot of work on, because the free version gives you 20 free questions a day, I think. So that is normally fine, but if I've got like a project or whatever and something going on, I will have to pay for it, and you get a lot more. But even the free version, the fact this thing has been counselling put my mind at ease so much and just really helped me like this last week is amazing. And I urge all of you, especially if you can't, and this is the beauty of this, and I know everybody's scared of AI because it's like, oh, it's taking our jobs, and do you know what, maybe it is, but actually I also think it's filling a gap for people that I have all, you like, know I've been poor people, I was poor people, like I know what it is to come from the gutter, right? And I know what it is to have nothing, and it's always the people who have nothing who fucking need everything. And you know, things that are not accessible for everybody but still should be, I do think a lot of it is unfair. But the fact now you've got this beautiful thing excuse me, this ChatGPT that can, oh god, sorry, I've got a really bad cough at the moment, can basically provide this support for free, like valuable support as well. The type of stuff you're paying like 60-70 pounds an hour for, can do it for free. It's just amazing. I don't know, and again, I can afford therapy, but it's finding the time. And with me, I'm having a flipping meltdown at 6 o'clock in the morning because I'm worried about a text I fucking sent yesterday. It's nice to be able to just talk to ChatGPT as and when I need. Anyway, so I'm just bringing this up because, like I said, for those of you who can't access the therapy you need, for goodness sakes, go and lean on this robot because it's very amazing. Anyway, I have basically just written a list of things I wanted to talk about this week, and there's so many weird things on it, and I didn't actually think about putting them in order. Like, it basically starts with, oh my god, do you know what it started with, which I meant to say? I wanted another opinion on this, right? Because this to me is wild, and you're either going to sit on one side of the fence or the other. But you see men that think you're going to call them daddy, right? Or they want you to call them daddy, or refer to themselves as daddy. Are you okay? Do you think I'm not okay? I ain't even ever met my dad, and I still don't have that many father issues that I would want to call you daddy. Like, seriously, can you call me mummy? How far does this go? It's fucking weird, especially when you're dating younger guys. Am I gonna call you daddy? No, I fucking not. Anyway, where do we stand with that? Do we not think that is just some real, to me, when women, like, when I hear that, it's something I associate with like porn and very, very, very damaged women. I'm a very damaged woman. Like, I've been through some shit, but I'm not that damaged. Like I said, I'm not that fucked up. I don't get that. I don't get why you would think that is sexy when that is what you call your dad. It's just it's fucking weird. It's very, very weird to me. Anyway, that was on my list. My point was, I've made this fucking list of things to talk about, and they're not really in any particular order. So I'm just going to carry on and get off of this ChatGPT thing. And my next topic of random conversations was, I just want to talk again about this whole, not manifestation really, but it kind of ties into that, like people and how they really can affect your life. And I don't just mean actually all people affect your life. All the people that are in your life, like, they do have an effect on it, which is why I only try and keep good people around me. But men who are dicking you down in particular, you need to be very careful of the energy that you are sharing with them. And you need to be very mindful that you will probably take on that energy. Especially, I'm a proper empath, like, all day. And I'm very sensitive to other people's energy. And you guys, if you've been following along, you remember I met this guy, this walking red fucking flag at the beginning of all of this. And he, after like doing the deed with him, like the week after, first of all, my feelings were so out of whack. Like, I was feeling things I have never felt before. And I was really aware that they weren't my feelings. And I'm so glad that I have an awareness of all of this, but it kind of just hammered home like how important it is to make sure you're sharing your energy with the right people. Because it's weird, a few days afterwards, I just started feeling really lonely. Now I feel a lot of things, but loneliness is not one. You can't feel lonely when you've got 5 children. Like, it's literally impossible. I am probably, I don't know, that's just one thing I don't ever feel. I don't feel lonely. Like, yeah. But that week after that, I was just feeling extreme loneliness, like a very dark loneliness in the depths of my soul. And I just remember thinking, God, this isn't my loneliness. This is this guy's fucking loneliness. And I've just taken it all on. And he's probably over there feeling fucking great because more time I feel great. And you're having this exchange, and it's just really important to be mindful of how, you know, things are going. And testament to that is obviously I then got rid of him because he was not okay, and started this other thing. And my goodness, my life, after that, everything has just been going so well, because I obviously started filming this podcast quite a while ago because I wanted to get ahead of myself. I wanted to keep it consistent and just make sure I had enough content. So I've been trying to get ahead of myself and get all this filmed, and I've got all this content backed up, and then I'm obviously trying to follow the story along. I'm going to be perfectly transparent. I'm just using lots of words to try and fill this gap because I don't remember what I was just saying. Oh yes, I do remember what I was saying. I was talking about how people affect you positively and negatively. Anyway, so this guy, the week or so after we had this encounter, my life has just got so much better. Oh, that's what I was saying. So I started filming the podcast and everything was just a bag of shit. But now, when I met him, basically, or we had that thing, I launched the podcast basically the week after that, and everything, if you're keeping up on Instagram, has been so fucking good. So good. Like the podcast, you guys are loving the podcast, and thank you so much for all the love. Like, it is so nice to, I was really, I don't know, I was quite worried about coming back and doing all of this, but I don't know why. That was really stupid because you guys have just been so lovely. It's like I've just got back with all my friends again finally, and it's just, I don't know, it's really nice speaking to some of you, and I know a lot of you are going through very similar things to me, and just, we're not alone in this, which I think is it's horrible, isn't it, because we're all going for it, but at the same time, like, we are not alone in this. And I wanted this to very much, I didn't want this to all be sad. I wanted this to be like a journey to getting better, and this is very much getting better. Like, I am feeling so much better, and I think it is, I'm not going to put it all on this guy, but he has brought a different kind of energy, and it's a very clean energy, and I don't know, I really appreciate it. And I just, things have been going very well, and that is very telling of a person and whether or not something is right. You know, how is your life after these encounters? Is it all like, because it's not just feelings as well, like, is it calamity? I mean, look, I met that guy, slept with him, and then I've ended up on the bloody NHS cancer pathway shit and just had the shit scared out of me. I've met this guy, I've launched the podcast, things are going very well with like other things, and just, I don't know, life is just, sorry to brag. I'm not sorry to brag. My life's been in that gutter for a long time. Like, I deserve this, but I don't know. Things are just starting to come back together, and it is very important that I keep the right people in my life, and I keep my energy in a good fucking place. I mean, can you tell? I took some vitamin D very recently and I'm feeling okay. I hope you fucking can. I really hope you can. And again, I don't want to pin this all on that, but you know what's funny? Like, whenever like someone's being miserable, I always just look at them and think, especially when I'm like, you ain't had a dick in a long time. Like, that's why you're fucking acting like that. And honestly, the way I've been acting lately, like, it's like a woman who hasn't had a good dicking down in a long time. And I just don't feel like that anymore. And you know what's mad as well? I've spent so long thinking I need anger management because I've been in such a perimenopausal rage. No, turns out I just needed to really get some good, because I feel all right. Like, people are trying to piss me off, and I can see little things happening, and I'm just like, do you think I care about that? I fucking don't. Like, I really just don't care. I'm just feeling so light and so free and so happy. And I don't know, I think there is a lot to be said for good sex. And yeah, I mean, I've obviously took a long break for it. Again, I think there's time and a place for everything. Like, I obviously have spent a long time being alone, doing the celibacy thing, doing me, loving me, working on me. But now, you know, the other end of that is I'm going to do some other people, and I'm very excited about it. So yeah, life is fucking good, quite literally. Now, I I wanted to end with this because I know, like, a lot of us, again, well, not all of us, some of you are happily married, and I'm happy for you. Stick with your husband, they are not easy to find. But for those of us who are looking for a man, I just want to tell you what I'm actually doing actively, because it's funny, like, I see so much, I pick up on some things, and there's this woman that keeps coming up on my feed, and she talks a lot about dating, and obviously her whole profile is dating related. And people don't understand, with the law of attraction, when you make something your life, especially these influencers and stuff, when you make something your life, or like it's your brand, you're going to keep experiencing it. That is going to be your experience. Like, her thing says like dating and whatever, and so all she's going to be experiencing is more dates, more dating. And she's pissed off because she's like, well, where does this end? I've been dating for 2 years, like, I want to settle down. You're not going to settle down while you're doing a flipping dating bloody page, are you? You're just fucking not, because that's not the right energy. You're better off doing a marriage page, or like a how to get married and that kind of thing. You want to be kind of keeping the energy you want. Anyway, so the point of this is, it kind of made me realize, like, we sit here as women, we'll bash on men and we'll be like, it's men, it's men, it's men, it's men, never considering for one narcissistic moment that it might actually be us. Like, we are the problem. And I actually truly believe we are the problem. I don't actually, as much as I will take a shit on men, and a lot of the men I know are fucking giant idiots, I know it's not the men that are the problem. It is you and your mindset and your expectations that are constantly manifesting this foolishness into your life, if that is what you're expecting. I do not, for many reasons, have very good expectations of men. I mean, I've never even met my father. I don't know if I've ever told you the story about my dad, but my biological father, I've never even met him, and I'm pretty sure he was a bit of a fucking nonce, because my mum was only 17 when she got pregnant with me, and he was 38. And it's funny because we're on this subject of like, what's too young? That's too young, dickhead. That's far too fucking young. So I don't know, there was a lot of stuff that had gone on there, and my long story short, he was Indian, and he was like, I'm not having my child raised in the West. And he said, my mum, we're going to take her to live in India. My mum was like, you're fucking not. Thank God. Could you imagine me? An Aquarius, a free woman trying to live in India. I would have been stoned to death at like the age of fucking 2. But yeah, she was just like, no. And then that was it. I never saw him. I've never met him. So they're the type of things that you can scream and shout, you think you're enough all day, but there is going to be some sort of little dent in your soul all the time that kind of just goes, well, my own father didn't want me. Because your parents are like supposed to be your one safe thing, right? They're supposed to be the one thing that always got your back, always there for you. They're like, they're supposed to, right? But then when they're not, it's like, well, what do you do with that? And how does that make you feel? Well, I guess, the masked me would be like, I feel great, I don't give a fuck about the man or whatever. But no, actually underneath it, that's quite hurtful, isn't it? What do you mean I was I was really pretty as well, such a nice child. Actually, I was a terrible child, I was so fucking rude. It's a good thing I was good looking. But what does that make you? It just makes you feel really unwanted. And I don't know, I think I have just over the years just not felt very good enough. And I've had, because of that, very low expectations of men. And actually, I was really lucky, unlucky, I don't know how you want to look at this, but I actually had a dad. I had a man who raised me, who was in my life from I was about 2, and he was great. He was like literally the best dad ever. But then he went on to have other children when he divorced my mum, like my stepbrothers and sister, and he just, I don't know, he's just now like the worst person in the world, to the point where I had to cut him off like 5 years ago, maybe even a bit more, because of how awful I don't know how someone could be so great, raise a kid that's not even theirs, and then go and turn around and do the things he's done to his own children. He's so fucked up. I don't even want to get into that. But my point is, I've just always had kind of low expectations of men. And then again with my baby, and then this is kind of reflected throughout my whole life, because I've made such bad decisions. I haven't then like stepped out and gone, let me go and get a man who values me. I've gone out and got a man to reaffirm that I am in fact not enough and a bit of shit and not good enough and all of that. And even though we know that's not true, and I've been fucking doing the work to the point where actually I really do know that's not true, but that doesn't change what's happened in my past and who I've attracted into my life and the things I have accepted. So yeah, and I have to deal with it every day, and it's so fucked up as well, every day having to deal with like their dads, and I just shake my head and I'm like, You really fucking hated yourself, didn't you? You really fucking hated yourself. But anyway, we fucking move. It is what it is. And actually, it's nice to see the growth, isn't it? I saw this funny meme, and it was like, if you line up my exes, you can see like the history of my fucking mental health, and you really can. Anyway, the point I am trying to get to is a lot of us. I'm not alone in this. Plenty of us ain't met our fucking dads and baby fathers who are a bunch of dickheads. I know I'm not alone in this. What I'm saying is, if we don't start to change our expectations and what we want from men and what we think we deserve and what we believe they're capable of, nothing's going to change. If we're going to sit here all day and be like, men are this, men are that, men are but it's not, it's all we're going to get. It's all we get. Like this woman who all she does is talk about bad dating. So all she's going to get is more bad dating because that's all she's fucking on about. We have to change our mindset. So to my point, what I have actually done, it is, where are we today? We're like November the 3rd. And it's just, we've just had the new moon. So I have done my new moon intentions. And at the end of them, I just wrote out a bit about not what I want a man to be in terms of like physical attributes. And I'm not even put down like specific things I want. Like I have put down how I want a man to make me feel. And actually, oh my God, here's some I made earlier. I used my journal to balance my microphone on. Let's hope that stays balanced. But I should actually just read you a bit of this. Not all, actually, yeah, do you know what? Maybe I'll start taking applications. If you're like a man with good mental health, doesn't mind a bit of my bad mental health, holla! No, jokes. Right, so what I've tried to do is just put down, like I said, like things I want a man to make me feel. So I have written, I want an easy love, because I fucking do. I want someone who knows I need to be free, but equally that I belong to them. That is very important to me because I'm such a free spirit, but I'm like the most loyal person ever. If I am with you, I'm with you. I would never even look another way, but I might not actually just be with you because I love being on my own. Like, and I'm a free spirit, a busy free spirit. So, and again, it's being specific because you can't tell the universe, oh, I want a man. Like, you get 20 men right now, but I can guarantee 19.5 of them will be fucking idiots. So you have to be specific. Anyway, and I said I want someone that is proud of me. This again is very important and specific to me. Because of what I do, there is, I don't know, I have mentioned this before, like a lot of men are not comfortable when you are, if you do better than them. And you could look at what I do and think it's really fucking cool. So what I need someone to do is look at it and think, it's really fucking cool and wow, that's my girl kind of thing. Like, look at my woman go, like, she's amazing. Like, that's what I need. So I have also written, I want someone that will spend quality time with me because, again, specific to me, I do not have a lot of time, but quality time, I would like to spend that with somebody who is important, who deserves that time. And equally, I don't want someone who just has time. Like, I never forget, I heard someone say, like, I would rather miss a busy man than babysit a broke one. I have no time for broke, non-busy men in my fucking life. First of all, I'm busy. What are you going to do? Sit there and watch me work? Fuck off, you peasant. No. So I want someone who can appreciate that. Next thing I have actually written, which is again very important, I want someone who has their shit together financially. I literally wrote that. I want someone who has their shit together financially, simply because, again, that first guy I met, a lot of his red flags and my problems with him was he was not financially stable. If me, single mother of 5, with like the brain that I've got, can actually manage to keep all of this shit together financially, why can't you, one single fucking man, do that? I don't know, it's bothersome to me. And I think it's funny because I used to have a friend who would only ever deal with rich men, and I just honestly secretly used to think, you gold digging whore, like, what's wrong with the poor men? Let me tell you what's wrong with the poor men. They do not value themselves. Like, poor people is a mindset, and it's one that comes with a lot of other fucking problems. And I have worked so fucking hard to change my mindset. Do you think I got to here, which is, by the way, not actually really anywhere in the grand scheme of things, but from the fucking peasant in the gutter that I was, do you know what it's taken? It's fucking taken a lot, and I cannot afford to be around somebody with this poor financial energy. Do you know what's funny as well? Like, again, back to, like, you have to be really careful, like, the people that you have in your life and the energy they bring to your table. My baby father, he has met this lovely girl. And the thing is, I've talked about this girl before, and for whatever reason, you know, I wasn't her biggest fan. But honestly, I am way more of a fan of her than I am of him. The things he has got her doing and the things that are happening that she does not see, or maybe she does see, I don't know, but like not reading the fucking signs. The fact that, you know, he's borrowed her car and then it's crashed it, someone's crashed into it. Fam, that's a brand new fucking range she's driving. You could never afford, because your car's always fucking broke. You've driven her car and you got it crashed into. Now she ain't got a fucking car. Well, she has now, but this is the kind of energy I cannot have around me. Like, this is one of the reasons I couldn't be with either of my baby fathers, because they have broke energy. And again, I don't want to make this to be a horrible thing, like, because it's not easy to change your mindset. It's not. But like I said, I have worked so fucking hard on my mindset. I am now not going to have anybody come in and do anything to my mindset. So good financial energy only. Then I have said, I want someone who will put my mind at ease and someone who won't let me go to bed angry. I like to sleep and I like to be peaceful. And I don't know, I need someone who will seek to find the peace with me quickly. Like, I don't like feeling bad. So I don't want to have an argument and then we sit on this argument feeling bad. Like, I just need it to be over and done with. And this thing where I overthink, I really appreciate a man that will just put my mind at ease and not let me overthink. So again, anyway, I could go on, but I'm not going to bore you. My point is, if you are looking for a man, instead of sitting there just saying willy-nilly, oh, universe, I want a man, be specific. And at the same time, try and change your mindset about men. We have all, and this is myself included, this is something I really need to work on. I have to start thinking, men are good, men are great, men are fantastic. Men can be supportive. Men can be, I can't actually think of anything else right now because I am new to this. But we need to start to shift our mindset and start to think that men are better if they are to become better to us. That again is with anything. The only reason I have managed to sort my finances out over the years is because I've had to change my attitude to money. I had to stop being scared of it, stop being in fear of it, stop, like, I don't know, treating it like shit, basically. I had to love my money. I had to fall in love with it and think better of it and want more from it for it to be there. And I think we have to do the same with men. So this probably ain't even shit you really want to hear, but it says 111 on my clicky counter thing. So I basically definitely think I'm right. Anyway, I am going to wrap this up, but I'm going to wrap this up with some fantastic news. And I told you, it's been a good flipping couple of weeks. I have got some super cool people who have agreed to come and do the podcast with me. But one person in particular who I have a lot of love for and I am a massive fan of, and that is Jermaine, who is Young Thrill on Instagram. He's a comedian, but he is going to come and do a podcast with me, and we are going to talk about men and women, and we're going to try and come from the place of love, because there are so many people just, I don't know, men are shitting on women, women are shitting on men, and I actually don't think that is very helpful. I think if we're going to fucking even begin to start to make this world better, men and women need to start to come back together and like be strong in that. So we are going to try and come together for this podcast and just, I don't know, share some perspectives and, you know, a little bit of maybe not advice, definitely not advice. Wouldn't take advice from either of us, but we're just going to try and come and like shed some light and give some perspectives on this whole situation. So hopefully we can all start to get on a little bit better. Anyway, I am going to wrap this up. You guys try and keep that positive mindset. Wow, I got through this whole flipping, through this whole thing. Not even acting stoned, and there it was. It just had to slip itself in. Probably just to remind me to tell you, this podcast was sponsored by NYN. Get all your edibles from NYN. Best edibles in the, not gonna say the fucking world, this ain't California, but yeah, for London and England. We've been told actually best edibles in the UK. So yeah. Anyway, I'll leave a link in the thing. Remember, one bite at a time. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and just yeah. I will catch you next week. Next week's podcast, I'm going to have Jermaine on the show, like I said, and we are going to be talking all things relationship and fun. So please join me for that, and just, well, stay amazing, you glorious people. I love you so much. Thank you for listening.